All right, welcome back. We're back with another episode of BILLINICO commentary. And today we are going to be talking about Marc Lamont Hill. Marc Lamont Hill loses it on the Joe Budden podcast. I don't know what's going on with dude. I don't know if the money ain't right at home. Something ain't going on right at the house. Men, our journey on this earth is pretty similar. We can, do a lot of different things and we can be in different positions, but the journey from a boy to a man, it's not that complicated, especially in this American society. The things that make us upset usually involve a few things: women, our money, personal issues close to us, our family, maybe a loved one could be dying. We can be going through a health issue. It's just these few things, right? And it's like something set Marc Lamont Hill off, because even though this is an entertainment podcast and they are, known to be loud and brash and etc., it just doesn't make sense, the reaction that he gave. And it's almost like he snapped. And, I'm going to be careful with the commentary that I give, because this dude, I don't know. And it's funny because it looks like he thinks, or he's taken what QueenzFlip says as offensive or disrespectful, but I've heard this guy say some of the most disrespectful things about our active president. The people that he doesn't like. Hulk Hogan just passed, and this guy is this blatantly disrespectful to people. And he's going to justify it by, with his claims of racism or whatever, but where is the level of humanity? If you're such an intelligent person, you can't recognize that we are still all humans. We want to just live and be at peace. We don't want to feel pain. These basic things that connects us as human beings. Obviously, we have different lineages, families, backgrounds, experiences, of course. But we have to have common sense, and we have to align on some basic principles. And someone like Marc Lamont Hill seems to not understand that. Or he does understand that. He's just selling this, radical, liberal, black male image. But he's very disrespectful to people such as Donald Trump, right-wingers, Charlie Kirk, who just passed. Dude doesn't care. And he's very disrespectful to his castmates, actually. For a guy that's, crying about racism and how things aren't fair and how you treat black people, this guy is an a-hole to black people. He's allegedly. But if you watch the show, you watch the jokes and the way he goes into the castmates. It's dang near like Marlon Wayans in the Him movie. Excuse me. So I don't know what's up with Marc Lamont Hill. Let's play a little bit of the video because I know people want to see it. So
to me, so I'm trying to tell you, but it's personal life. I don't want to make it sound like that because I want people to think I'm tricky words. No, I don't. So I say regular words that's tricky to you.
Tricky words.
You got a community that this nigga built through the community. I don't need to do
That's
that.
our job.
You try to win favors. You try to win favors. You mean like fan engagement? You try to win favors. That's sucker shit to me. When do I do?
So QueenzFlip is saying, because Marc Lamont Hill's a new guy in the job, right? And it's like he's like trying to brown nose. He's trying to diminish the crew, elevate himself in front of the boss. And he does it in these, little conniving ways. I mean, he even came up there. He has a gig going on with Ian. They have their own separate show, separate product. And you can look at that and you can say, he's making moves, is being smart, or is it gimmicky? Is it snakish? Depending on how you look at it, what you could take from it. I think there's nothing wrong with taking opportunity. But I think how you take opportunity matters, your character and the things that you're doing in order to, elevate yourself. If you have malicious intent, I don't think that ever works out. That never ends well. Because it's not based on organic chemistry, creativity, the things that are needed to make a great product or a great service. Eventually that energy of being malicious is going to leak out, and, it's going to show in the quality of whatever you're producing, because it's not going to come from a genuine place, which is what you need to create greatness. For those that get it, get it. For those that don't, just rewind it a couple times. Maybe it'll make sense to you.
You try to point. Don't call me a sucker no more. 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 That's sucker shit. I'm not calling you. I'm saying that's sucker shit.
Yo, the liberal black male are some of the most violent people. They react with emotion. They're highly offended, and they react with violence. Yet they claim to be intellectually superior. The intellectual is one I've never seen. I don't think I can remember anyone on this podcast actually, basically trying to square up on the podcast. Now, we've heard about things that happen behind the scenes, but actually appear to like frame up like you want to fight. I've never seen that energy on this podcast. Never. And Marc Lamont Hill, brother, I'm not trying to disparage you. If anything, I'm trying to help you. And I think maybe you can, take a step back and really analyze some of the beliefs that you believe in. And if the path, that you've taken isn't being as fruitful as you need it to be, it's okay. You're still young. There's still time. There's still a better way to be an influence to your community. Whatever powers that may be in your ear or your circle that make you feel that you can't pivot, you can. I'm saying that confidently. Maybe this is happening for a reason. Just my 2 cents.
I can take that. I'm not calling. I'm saying that's sucker shit. You not.
I think QueenzFlip actually handled it pretty well. I think if it was someone else, despite the reputation that QueenzFlip has with some people that he's, crazy and, lacks self-control and all this, he could have just fought him right there in that stage or on this platform. But this is a podcast. This is Joe Budden's Place of Business. Marc Lamont Hill, clearly there's something else going on. Any real man that, has experience and sound mind can look at another man and realize when, there's something going on behind the eyes. There's something going on. And that's why I'm saying something triggered him, or clearly this triggered him, but there's something else going on in his life. It could be his woman, it could be the money, family, there's stress. And his path that he's taken, the liberal ideology. Anyone that knows God knows peace. We know we can't control everything. I know I can't control everything. I can't control the outcomes with a lot of things around me. But I know that God, it is what it is. There's one creator, there's one existence. It reigns on the just and reigns on the unjust. It is what it is. But when you give glory to God, you just walk a much better life. You give thanks for every day of peace and no issues. You genuinely do. And you do your best and you control what you can control. And there's so much freedom in that. There's so much freedom in that. They were praising Marc Lamont Hill, saying he does so much for the community. We have all these black leaders that are, that's why even to follow the Bible, the principles of the Bible, idolatry, you can idolize others or you can idolize yourselves. And these people, especially these women nowadays, they think they're these great leaders. They think that they're leading the community. They're leading their households. You're putting yourself, you're idolizing yourself. You're putting yourself in a position you weren't meant to be in. And it's draining. It's draining your psyche, it's draining your body, it's draining your spirit because it wasn't meant for you. To say you're a leader of your community when you're not even leading yourself, is ass backwards. The community needs simple things to fix itself. Families, God first, men to follow God's principle, God's law. The families, man run the household, woman follow the man, have beautiful children, and that's it. And you have families, and you have communities, and you have societies. But these type of people put themselves on these platforms or these pedestals, better yet, and they just put these weights on their shoulders that they can't handle, and it leads to breakdowns.
And I'm telling you, you say that sucker shit, I take it like you saying it to me. So I'm saying, what I'm saying, let's do this. Let's both calm down. No.
Stop doing that.
No, I'm saying let's both calm down. Let's both calm down, because I'm telling you right now, the way you're talking to me, I'm taking a different way. So let's both calm down.
So, like, why is he trying to dictate to him about how they talk? And they both are talking to each other, aggressively. So why is he trying to, like, who is this dude? Isn't this Marc Lamont Hill from CNN, the author? Like, who is this? Is this, like, Jeezy? Is this BMF? Like, what is going on? If the black scholars are the gangsters, who are the leaders in the black community? If the so-called scholars, the ones that are the intellectuals, have no composure, are ready to fight, who are really leading y'all? The people that come with the instructions, that are the teachers, the prophets, the saints, or just people that speak. We don't even have to give these titles. It's people that speak wisdom. We don't listen to that information. There's so many people that are preaching wisdom, and they're not even trying to fight. They preach against violence. They preach against fighting, not because they've never fought in their life or they're scared, because it's not fruitful, man. It's not productive. We got way better things to worry about with the tools that we have, with the access to the information we have right now, than fighting. And it lets me know you can't possibly building something that's great or greater than yourself if you're focused on fighting. We have so much technology, innovation happening right before us. You have to go for it, because that market is going to get crowded. It's already crowded. But whatever your niche or your lane is, you're going to miss out. And these guys have large audiences at that. Marc Lamont Hill has a huge audience on his own. So he can make a lot of money, and he can do a lot of things. It's just the spirit. I don't think the stuff that he's doing is spiritually aligned with the Most High, with God. So it's just not going to bring him the peace that he needs to avoid these type of outbursts. That's just my opinion. It's my opinion.
I'm saying let's talk like brothers.
You don't gotta say that.
I'm saying, because what you ain't gotta say that sucker shit. So I'm saying let's
You're not a sucker, but I said the behavior.
Then we good.
Shit to me.
Then we good. Then we good. Now let's get back to the show.
But that's why you saying that?
Because when you say that sucker shit, I take that as disrespectful. And I take that as to me.
Don't like sucker.
To me. So I'm trying to tell you.
But there's a lot of shit you say to niggas that we take disrespectful. But for the
there's a lot of shit you say that I take disrespectful. Nigga, I'm not gonna talk about it on air because I'm not you.
I don't know what has gotten into him. Is it something in his cup, something in his drink? Because he is, sheesh, look at Ish playing with his water bottle. Ice hasn't even moved. Ice is literally ice right now. Frozen in time. Thinking about, dang. When I first started this, it was just me and Ish and Joe. We was just talking. We know these dudes. Then we got all these celebrities up here, all these B-list, C-list, D-list celebrities up here with the egos. Look at, they normal, and they got all these celebrities arguing. Well, Sephora left. She's kind of a celebrity. But the homegrown, they chilling. But, it is what it is.
I'm free.
So at the end of the day, I'm not you. This is what you do, and then I'm gonna leave shit alone. No, fuck that. No.
Oh, shoot, you got the chick saying she's scared. Now I'm wondering what happened at CNN or what these places that he got, I know he got let go. I'm not sure if it was fired, allegedly. But if you was doing this around those good old Caucasian brothers of ours, they gonna let you go. They don't want no black dude screaming, acting deranged, angry, threatening, nah, you out of there, bro. So if you did even 1% of this, they had your walking paper. They didn't even, they emailed you the walking papers. They said, hey, please don't show up tomorrow. You know, we think it'll just be better if, you know, we just do this very quiet. You know, we love the things that you do. We hope you get help and we hope you have a great, you know, a great career. Because, bruh, I don't know what is going on with him, and I wish him the best. I really do. Hopefully this is a learning lesson for him. Hopefully he runs his back and takes the advice. You know, don't put too much on you that is not meant for you, and it's okay. And listen, things change over time. You could be the first Black liberal to admit to a large group of Black men that, you know what, the way I was thinking was wrong. No, seriously. I'm dead serious. The way that I was thinking was wrong. He can genuinely say that. He was in a cult before, allegedly. That's what they joke about. I don't know if that's true or just some kind of podcast joke, but if you were influenced by a cult before, how do you know that you weren't influenced by a cult again? Think about it. Think about it, Mark. Think. How do you know you just weren't influenced by another cult? Cult just means culture, a set of ways of thinking, system, you know, beliefs, the way you know, look at the world. It's culture. You bought into the Black culture, and I know there's some things you read a lot, so I know you've seen the other truths about, well, this is the other narrative to Black people that counters the Black liberal narrative. Not saying that these things didn't occur, but there's just another perspective. You know, like slavery and how everyone wasn't slaves. There was indentured servants. You know, the cattle slavery might have been exaggerated. Jim Crow, there was Black independent families, and you know, they didn't depend on being they just were a conservative group of people that were independent from the system, kind of, or from not the system, but they worked for themselves in the system. And they didn't really care about working for white corporations or companies. And they weren't begging for handouts and this like that and stuff like that. They were begging for better laws, and they were lobbying. So that's better and smarter, as opposed to being, you know, we're victims. Everyone's racist, instead of just working with people in common sense ways and just being productive as a group, not being victims, not being distracting, not calling everyone ignorant for having a different point of view or perspective. You know, so hopefully Mark considers these things. Maybe he'll listen to Thomas Sowell. You know, maybe he'll analyze himself and the things that he believes and why he acts the way he acts. So I'm wishing the brother the best.
Imani, I'm not potting. I know.
Come on, bro. What is that? I'm not potting. You know, it's kind of like psychosis a little bit. A little bit of psychosis. And that's, look at the way he's looking. It's like very, you know, fixed eye contact on his target. So,
Nigga,
and whoa. It's like he can't, like, who is this dude? Like, somebody, what is going on? He's looking at Flip like he can't believe he stood up. Like, yo, he really wants to put hands on Flip. He really wants to fight. He wants to let it out. He wants to I don't know why.
Nigga, don't fucking say it. What the fuck is you doing? Nigga, do you want, are we talking?
But we gotta rewind that back on.
Money, I'm not potting. I know. Nigga,
he can't believe he stood up. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Meanwhile, the person that you criticize is ending the war in the Middle East. He's bringing peace in the Middle East. Donald Trump is bringing peace in the Middle East at this moment. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is perfect, but that is a positive thing that he's doing. That's a positive thing that he's accomplishing right now. In the place that he cares, you know, he says he cares so much about. The war, it's almost, isn't that a contradiction to your whole program right there? Marc Lamont Hill and the liberals, all this protest about Gaza going on in all these cities. These liberals are going crazy in there. Donald Trump literally is negotiating ceasefires and ending actual deaths of those same people that people are, hashtagging and, putting these posts up and, following on social media. Because a lot of it's not organic. They just see it because other people are talking about it and passionate about it. I'm not saying everyone, but that's what it is. There's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. But in reality, we don't want people to die. So the fact that it's actually stopping. Are they going to say that on the Joe Budden podcast? Are they going to give Trump his flowers? Are they going to give him his credit? I'm saying these things because it's very interesting. I see the Trump side winning, and I see these black people arguing. They violent, they disrespectful, they haughty, they cussing people out, just profane, not getting any business done, not getting any real, legislation or, on the private sector, no big moves being done. On the public sector, no progress. What is going on? You got Ice Cube, the guy that they criticize. Ice Cube is making big moves in the private sector. That's big with the, having a sports league. That's dope. Then they have the people they don't talk about, like the, Don Peebles and what's his name? Is it Robert Smith? They don't, black community doesn't talk about them. But who's really killing it out here? All the media people are getting fired. The people that they've been celebrating in the politics are looking crazy. The Jasmine Crockett's, the Letitia James. They just look like failures and losing. Where's the black society gonna get a win? Hopefully the new, social media stars such as the Angry Man's, Anton Daniels, you got the Tariq Nasheeds. Sometimes these guys disagree with each other and their views overlap. They are, some of the new up and coming, I guess you could say standouts in the black community. And they're going to represent a new mode. And that black conservative that, let's say is roughly 15% of the black community can grow to 30%. And then maybe that 30% can grow to 50%. But that's the goal. We need more black conservatives because conservative men just think different. And they think from when I say conservative, I don't mean strictly American conservative solely from a political standpoint. I mean like a conservative man, like traditional, I'm a man. I believe in God. I believe it's God, man, woman, and child. Pretty simple. I believe in the laws, respect the laws, respect the land. And, it's pretty simple. That's what we need to get back to. But we have too many people that really believe that other things that they do are right, and everyone wants to do what they want to do on their own. And it's like you have freedom to do what you do on your own. You just have to do it within the laws, like I just stated. And you'll have the blessing. But it's hard to tell people that.
Nigga, don't fucking say it. What the fuck is you doing? Nigga, are we talking or we potting? We can talk outside or we can pot. Then let's talk outside.
Marc and Flip.
No, don't. Fuck that.
Bruh. She looking like, is he serious? Ice is not looking over at him because I don't know if Ice is scared or what. Ice is on ice right now. It's just like, yo. Flip is like, is this really going on right now? I'll fight. Because Flip, that's one thing you could give Flip. Flip fights. Like it's just documented. And it's like, he looks like he'll really do it. It is what it is. but I don't think he really wants to. You know, I know he's scared, but it's just like, what are we doing?
Mark and Flip. It's not fucked
No,
up.
every time you get mad, you talk to niggas like they pussy and they not. I didn't call you pussy. No, you call me a fucking sucker. That's the same shit.
He said you called me a sucker. I'm telling you, he might be stuck at a certain age because no grown man is reacting to being called a sucker like that. You know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like we're grown. These are grown men. I'm not fighting unless I gotta defend myself or my family. I'm not fighting nobody. I don't care what you talking about. You know how good life is? Look at the view they got. Like, they can't be forgetting these beautiful blessings that they got. Like, they need to look on that deck. Well, don't let Mark go out there by himself, but look at that deck, bro. Got the city and the skyline behind you. It ain't that serious, man. I'm telling you.
Stop, Mark.
I'm not trying to draw. Let's just talk outside.
We can't talk outside.
They can talk outside.
They can't talk outside.
No, y'all can talk outside. No.
But yeah, it's a little theatrics, man. A successful opera play. But we'll see where it goes from here. I just had to do a quick commentary video in it. Hopefully we could pull some lessons from it. And, you know, fellas, don't put too much on your plate. Don't try to be a savior for your community or for a group of people. You know, you got to take care of yourself and you got to save yourself first. All praise. So, holla.